Hello, guys. It is High Priestess Jamila. How are y'all today? Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, June the 12th of 2024. And I wanted to come on here and talk to whoever listens to me on YouTube still. Um, you know, I want to first start talking about how frustrating it is on YouTube. I think that it's people like to get together and do collaborations and stuff like that. But typically, when I look at other people's spiritual content, I don't get upset about it. And there are some people that I get very, very irritated with the information that they are giving out. And, I only come on here to warn people that watch me to not be taken by incorrect spiritual information. I don't care what you see on a document that they drop, you see, I'm still in the same place. I don't care about what other people say. More than likely, the next, if I find one, y'all gonna see me at the lake. So I'm gonna say that straight up and down right now. Okay. I don't live in the same reality as other people, and y'all got to get used to that. A lot of y'all have to really, really grasp the concept of that, especially those of you that are not necessarily satisfied with the realities that you live in. There are some people that are in your reality that are satisfied with that. They may like that, they may like that type of lifestyle, or maybe they're flourishing in certain realities. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you do have to create your own reality, and that is connected to your childhood, which gets me to my discussion. Your inner child is an ancestor. Your inner child is one of your most powerful ancestors. Your complete and total stages of development. You as an embryo is an ancestor. When you turned 9 months gestation, that was a lifetime. That was an ancestor. That was you and your creation and your connection to your source when you were 3 years old, when you were 5 years old, when you were 8 years old. Okay. Now, there are some realities that we don't like to speak of, to where people are weird and perverted when it comes to children. And that's because children are very special. In my reality, people give birth to their children, they nurture them, they love them. Okay. In other people's reality, that's not what's happening. Okay. When you were a child, you have to think about how important that was, that you may have not been in a good environment, but you still survived it. So that's where a lot of your power is at. And that's why it's important to retrieve those memories. It's not important for you to tell somebody. It's important for you to understand what it is that you did to survive that. And kids do all kinds of stuff. They do all kinds of stuff to survive certain things. Even if they're not given tools. If you listen, if you don't give a child a piece of paper and a crayon to draw on, that child is going to take a crayon and draw on the walls. They are. And depending on the situation that they were in, or the energies that were there, And that ain't always necessarily the parents' fault. That's because you're taught to be ignorant to you're taught to be ignorant. You're not taught to really actually understand. You're not you're not taught to have an understanding. But you know everything, all the way down to like what you were thinking, what you were manifesting. When you go back in your childhood, and especially if you survived something horrific, when you think back, you had friends, you had imaginary friends. More than likely, you had guardians. Don't ever destroy that part of yourself. That's not going to help. It doesn't matter what you went through, it doesn't matter when it comes to self, right? It doesn't even matter anybody else around you. The point is that you're still here, right? You're here and you're alive, and hopefully you're healthy. Creation is very important in all of us. Your creative qualities, what it is that you create every single day. So I wish I could help everybody in this world, but unfortunately, you can't, because people make their own choices and their decisions. But that your inner child is an ancestor. That is there. See, in an industrialized world, children are worthless because they're not old enough to work. So everything is set up for the industrial world. A 5-year old can't go to McDonald's or to AT&T or Sprint, or if do they even still have Sprint, or they can't go to them and say, uh, I'd like to fill out a job application. So the way that people look at children in a lot of realities and realms, not all of them, is that they're pretty much burdens and that's it, which is sad, but it's the truth. But in reality, a child possesses so many mystical qualities about themselves. You're as a child, like as a child, because not only that, you're growing really fast. There's a reason why children grow fast, but then when you get a certain age, that growth slows down. All of that is it's a metaphysical sign of the obvious. Right now, especially when we come up on cancer season, everybody is going to be forced to deal with their inner child unless you're good at avoiding it, because that cancer energy is all about gestation, womb, your childhood, your inner child. So that's coming up real soon. I believe it's the 21st is when, or the 22nd, somewhere in there is when we'll go into cancer. And y'all got to be prepared for that. And it's important for y'all to, man, I listen, I can't worry about people that ain't under my wing. I got enough to worry about, trust me. I'm going to tell you something. My clients, though, and I love them so much, that have had childhood trauma are some of the most difficult. It is so difficult to navigate through childhood trauma, right? Because you probably were punished, simply the things that happened was due to people taking you for granted because you were a child. So you were taught to take that aspect of yourself granted, especially if you are a witch or a shaman or even a psychic. But especially if you're a witch or a shaman, psychism, that it goes along, of course, it goes along with the mind that has to do with witchcraft, and but you know, it's not necessarily always connected. You have to, the reason why you want to connect to your inner child is because if you notice, the problems from your childhood are actually playing out in the current, because you're playing it out, you're allowing it to happen, you're doing it, right? You're allowing whatever in your reality to affect you. And as a child, there was certain things that you did to make those realities better for you. Most of us, especially if we're witches, I can't sit here and say that I had a trauma. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I did not have a traumatic childhood. I didn't. There were a few things that happened that I remember, but as far as my childhood just being that of abuse, no. But that doesn't mean that I can't help you. That doesn't mean that what I'm saying is invalid. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that I did go through, there were certain things that I did and they worked. And I still do them to this day. I incorporate them in my rituals. Now, I understand if you have a hurt inner child. So, what you have to do is work with somebody that knows what they're doing, that can heal you, that can actually heal you. And healing is very real. If you, okay, let's say you lived the first 18 to 21 years of your life in a place of trauma and abuse. Healing is not real for you. Just because it's not real for you doesn't mean that it's not real. And you have to accept that. When you start to accept that, then you stop going through those cycles. Because if you had a traumatic experience on June the 1st when you were 8 years old, you may still be reliving that every June the 1st or November the 1st or December the 31st. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a deep level of understanding. And then it also takes common sense, right? And it's a trip. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I sit here every day and I always manifest what I want every single day, regardless to what people in other realities are doing. Why is that? Why is it that I always manifest what the fuck I want and desire? Why is that? Always. Always. The only time, and especially the past month or so, um, always. Why is that? Why is it that I don't have to come on here and beg for donations? Why do people come to me and buy my classes and my spells? Why do I have a growing summer solstice circle? Why? Why are people in the summer solstice circle literally like on cloud nine. Why is that? You have to ask yourself that question. I'm not, whenever I see, there's some people, whenever they come on YouTube, they come on here because they're desperate for money. I come on here because it is my path to assist people. That's why I'm here. Doesn't matter about, I was going to do a show and talk to you guys. I'm still going to do that show about, and that show is very important, about demonic landlords. I am going to talk about that. Okay. But I'll wait until tonight to talk about that. Okay. So that's going to get rescheduled. But you're going to always have those issues if you don't understand the basics. You know what I'm saying? And what you're actually really dealing with, like what's really out there. You know what I'm saying? So people can talk about me. They can have their opinion of me is based upon their knowledge and wisdom. Hey, Stephon Harris. You were so sweet the way you came to that video, and like, yeah, that part anyway. um it doesn't matter what anybody says. It doesn't matter what candle they light on me. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter. I still get everything that I want and desire every single day. You know what I mean? There was some rumors going around that we were starving. If I was to go down there and show you that healthy, stocky little boy, that little boy's so healthy and stocky. Beautiful, gorgeous curly hair, curly brown hair. I just be looking at people, and okay, if you're always trying to induce struggle into other people's lives, we know you're struggling. Is that going to help your struggle? No, it's not. It's not going to help your struggle. It's not. Trying to induce suffering into other people's lives is never going to help you. It's just going to be in a loop, to loop, to loop, to loop, to loop, over and over again. And like a, what's that thing? What's that toy it's just a loop, to loop, to loop, a hamster wheel. It's just, thank you. Thank you. Oh, my sissy giving me some love in my inbox. I'm telling you, and people be just talking shit. They be like, "Oh, and you this and you that, and she this, and guess what? And I heard this and I heard that." I get every damn thing I want every single day, every single day. Like, and I ain't gotta. I don't have to curse nobody to do it. If I feel that you're creating too many problems and you're irritating me and you're taking me outside of my higher self and outside of my element, then I'm going to banish you out of my reality. You're not going to be allowed to be in my reality, your consciousness, none of that. How do I do it though? How do I do that? So it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it real, and people, I think that people are just haters in general. They don't want people to like see me, and that's because they hate on you. Like, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When Hecate and Lilith and Santa Martha And all my other spirits, when they gave me their keys and their knowledge, that that was it. And I ain't got to steal from nobody. I ain't got to take away from nobody. It's just gonna take at least another, I'd say maybe 8 months for me to. I've like my lake house is already built, but it's built in the future, right? Like exactly how I envision it to be. That's how you manifest. You don't manifest by going throughout life. Like really, to be honest with you, uh, people that you don't like, your enemies, that should be a small thing. That's a small thing. Unless you just like drama and stress, that's a very, very small thing. But you want to make sure just because what they do is a small thing doesn't mean that you should be friends with them and go, oh, I just forgive you. Oh my God, you're my enemy and you did that to me and I know about it. And I had to take time to, do what I do. But I forgive you today. Like you did that yesterday, but I forgive you today. Like even though what you tried to do was really horrible, like you literally tried to do something horrific to me. You know what I mean? That don't mean that. Like that's where they doing that at. But you know what I'm saying. But it just and I don't even like honestly like it irritates me coming on YouTube sometimes because people just really do not know. You just really don't know. So a lot of people that I mean, you can tell that they're struggling. They're scared. Why scared for what? What are you scared for? Yeah, if somebody tries to come into my utopia, they gonna get blasted. That's all I gotta say. Like what the like what the fuck? What is the and what is somebody gonna argue about that? Somebody gonna argue with you about that? I mean, as long as you're not committing any crimes against children, you're okay. I believe that the Divine Mother, she really pays attention to people when it comes to children. And they've been having me do those meditations I was telling y'all about. And I did unfortunately see a story about a child that was on the Amber Alert list that was unfortunately found deceased um, because I wasn't doing my Amber Alerts during that time. But Spirit said it's because you had other things that you had to focus on. Even if you were taught as a child to constantly focus on negativity, because a lot of y'all were taught as children to constantly focus on negative stuff, constantly. So you still need to hold on to your inner child and make that right. You know how you say, I wish I could go back and redo something? You can. You can go back and redo it. It's not that you're whitewashing your history, but it's more so you're going back and you are changing how that history affected you and how it affects you today, right? You're welcome, Malik. So, we doing some really exciting things in the summer solstice circle. And I encourage you guys. I mean, I know, uh, you know, yeah, I just, everything is at a set price because otherwise it would not be stable, right? If I were to say, well, you can pay me anything from $1 to $100, just donate. That would take away the structure of my business, and I don't believe in doing business that way. That's why I don't necessarily take donations from people that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Clients that, if they're, dealing with some stuff and they want to send me something to do something extra or boost something for them or something, but I got to know you, right? So that's why I don't do that. Mhm. Well, and that's something that you have to understand on a very deep level. You were in a different realm that somebody more than likely put you in. You didn't put yourself in that realm or that reality. And you couldn't help it because you were a child. You couldn't help it. Okay? So it's not your fault. But what you did do as a child was you survived it. And children that were abused is, you know, adults and children that were abused as a child, they were never given the opportunity to create their own space. They weren't. I want y'all to think about when you look at children and they build forts, right? And the parents are like, oh my God, a good parent is going to go, oh my God, you built a fort out of all the pillows on my couch. And why'd you do that? Kids will do that because that child is learning how to create his or her own space. It's not that the child doesn't feel safe. They're creating their own. But especially children that are in positions to where they want to either go hide in a closet or either they want to build a fort around them. Think about, for example, that movie Baby Boy and the villain that Snoop Dogg played in that movie. Remember when old girl's son had built a fort around himself, and he came and kicked it down? See, an abusive parent is going to do that. You know what I'm saying? And he was abusive. He's a bad person in that movie. So that, that's how you can relate that. So as an adult, in order for you to feel safe, and this is actually sort of like part of the key to overcoming anxiety, among other things, because some people have really, really, really bad anxiety. And I believe that anxiety is like a gateway for other mental illnesses. Anxiety is a gateway for, when people disassociate. You just want to disassociate altogether. And then once you do that, you're not there and in the present, and you're not actually able. You have to learn how to create your own space. You have to be reminded, hey, create your own space. And then that's how you're going to start building the structure around you, around your entire life. That's the blueprint for it. If you're constantly being told, avoid this, avoid that, how is that going to help you? That's why, and it's all a part of what they call, quote unquote, shadow work. So I hate to sound cliche when I say you're creating your own reality. And, this is why shamanism and witchcraft are very close together and very closely related, is because you are creating and there's nothing evil about that. The reason why they say it's evil is because when a witch creates a reality where another person cannot harm them, the person that wants to do harm calls them evil. Like, for example, when you were a child, you may have been left alone with people, or there were times when your abusive parent that was going through whatever they were going through, there was times when they probably thought about doing worse things to you. But somehow you were able to create that reality to where the worst didn't come to you. And it's not to say that children that the worst came to them deserved it. It's not to say that. Okay? It's not to say that. But, in that is something to where I deal with a lot. Like some of the children, like for years, I connected with Gabriel Fernandez, and he still connects with me sometimes. Um, but I feel like he's moved on, and I feel like he's already been reborn, but that doesn't mean that his essence is not there, right? Because we don't just exist like that. We can all exist individually on different time frames. Like, myself from yesterday still exists, right? That was a certain time, space, and time. That's why you want to make every move your best move. You know what I'm saying? I was very empowered yesterday. I was, oh my God, yesterday I, like, every day, man. And people be wanting you, like, even when you were a child, even if you went through some embarrassment, humiliation from your parents or abuse, you still was your powerful self because you survived it, whatever it is, whatever that fear factor was, whatever it was. But even I can sit here and say it. For me, what I've learned as a witch is that you still got to do the work. You still have to have some kind of physical representation of what you're talking about. Otherwise it's kind of like just all in your head. You can say, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, but then by 10 years later you still ain't did nothing. Exactly. Being a gay black man, raised Jehovah's Witness, and now a medium, others worlds have been cut away from me. So now I'm trying to create. That's exactly what you have to do. That's exactly what you have to do. I remember as a child, I would be outdoors doing spell work at different times randomly. Now at 25, I see how I'm constantly doing magic to keep others' negativity away from me. hmm And you know what? You can do work to where their negativity won't touch you too. That way you can do other stuff too. That, protecting yourself, not saying that what you're doing is not good, but I'm just saying, like, you don't have to spend constantly, you don't have to constantly, you know um, keep negativity away from you. You can create a better reality than having to constantly do that, unless you just like doing that. But when I was a child, I remember doing spell work too. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to do my do not disturb on my phone because I got a spam call. When I was a child, I was constantly doing spell work. Of course, when you're a child, you're not allowed to use fire, but and you don't necessarily have to connect to yourself when you were a bad kid. But I remember me and my cousins. I don't know what in the world we was thinking about. We just all of a sudden decided that we was gonna take some charcoal lighter fluid and set a tree on fire. So we was ready to play with fire. By the time I was 13, I was able to go up to the store. You know what? I can't wait till I get home because I wonder if one of my favorite childhood stores is called Seventh Heaven is still open. Go up there, get your hands on some matches and stuff. I remember when I was a kid, when I started playing with fire, that was an experience, man. But that all a lot of us that, and then a lot of us that are witches, we feel like we wasn't necessarily doing magic. But when you think when you think back, if you really really think long and hard, you were doing magic. Now for me, a great part of my childhood I can't even remember, but there because I'm not in that space. I'm not in a space to where it's time for me to remember that. um and you can actually do spell work to induce that, and you don't have to you don't have to do spell work to remember the bad things, but you can do spell work to remember the good things. And those you can you can force it to happen too. But I use whatever I need right now at this moment, you know what I'm saying? But your childhood is very important. And I believe that this Saturn in retrograde that we're getting ready to have, that I'm going to finish the readings for that. In fact, I'm going to get out of here so that I can continue to work on those readings. I believe that a lot whenever any of the planets go into retrograde, this is when you are encouraged to reflect. And our next retrograde, which I'm going to look that up real quick, because when we go into November, there's going to be Saturn's going to be actively in retrograde. So is Jupiter, but there's one that's going to actually go into retrograde. And then this is when people that really don't understand astrology, they really don't understand the world, they really don't understand. This is when they start getting very depressed and sad, and they go into these psychoses. And they are going to try to tap in. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tap in because they need help. But then when they're told the proper help that they need, they don't want to listen. They're not even willing to listen for a day. Some of my clients, I have to remind them. They have to be sent reminders. But these people, they won't listen at all. Let me get my retrograde calendar printed out real quick. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I think I'm back. Testing, testing. I should be back. Okay. Is it going to print? Hold on, y'all. Okay. So Jupiter is going to go into retrograde in October. And I think that that is what's going to really set people off. Jupiter is not just the planet of abundance, but Jupiter is the planet. Um, it's Jupiter, the way it's going to affect people from what I'm sensing is that it's almost like a planet of hope. So that's why people start getting depressed around that time. They start getting really, really depressed. And then they even start having financial difficulty around that time. And part of the reason why they start having financial difficulty is because the people around them. Like if you have a job or you work for a company, your boss get to tripping. It doesn't matter how much money people have. You know, it doesn't. You know, money, just having money is incompletion. Okay, being complete in money and incomplete in other areas doesn't mean anything. That's why a majority of y'all bosses get to tripping, and your coworkers get depressed, and everybody get to fighting and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and then people start affecting each other that way. So, the preparation is going to be needed. And a lot of y'all are going to, because I know that I'm putting a dome, I'm building a dome. I don't have time for this. If people want to stay ignorant, let them stay ignorant. It is nothing that I can freaking do about that. It is not like you can't. If people are willfully ignorant, let them be that. What else can you do? Because those people are going to be, oh my God. Jupiter is also a planet of happiness, gaiety. You know what I'm saying? Like Jupiter is very important to the solar system. It's a huge planet that can literally swallow Earth 20, 30, 100 times. It's so when it goes into retrograde, people feel lost. People feel lost. And that's why I can't, oh my God, y'all. These people be running around here. Halloween is evil. And Jupiter's going to go into retrograde on the 29th of October. I will not be in the southern areas of the world during that time. I will be gone by then. I will be for months. So that's going to be a trip. Because when you mix depressed ignorance with fear, oh my God, just the energy is just gonna, yeah, everybody. I would say prepare yourself by getting, getting it like not just sage, but sage essential oil. I'm about to order some sage essential oil, uh, and an essential oil diffuser. It just, oh my God, I and you know what? That's the thing about it is that when you do create your own reality, there there is a way to close the gateway to where people can't get to you. However, you still got to go outside. You still got to go and be around people. You still got to touch the same thing that they touch. So it requires maintenance. It does. It requires maintenance. That's why I always clean my toilets with ammonia. Hey, Christian. I'm doing great, Christian. Thank you. Thank you. How are you? Goodness. I'm telling you. And it's not that you necessarily live and exist in the same world as those people, Rather, it's more so like a melting pot, so to speak. And, for example, if you like, for me, I have people do my grocery shopping for me. But here lately, I've been having some excellent, amazing shoppers since, you know what I'm saying? Christian, you need to get in my summer solstice circle, man. Oh my God, y'all just have no idea. Please don't be sleep on it, man. It ain't just because I want the money or need the money, even though, of course, we all have to pay bills. Maybe I will create a reality to where I don't have to pay bills. That's yeah, that's gonna take a while. Get in my summer solstice circle. I'm telling y'all, that's exactly what we're working on. We're working on reality shifting and 1111. And we're going to be working on that from now until April or May of next year. And we're going to boost and reaffirm everything at the Sabbats. And I just, I'm telling you, a lot of people wanted to shut down my operation because they were like, how is she able to help all these people out? It's my shamanic ancestors. It's the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It's the blood. My ancestors, that's how I'm able to do it. And then there's also witches because my ancestors were shamans and some of them married witches. And that's just who it is. Bowling alleys are very, very, very spiritual, believe it or not. Yeah, bowling and playing and shooting pool. I don't do either one of them anymore. I used to go to like this activity place, and I will in the future. I will in the future, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel safe everywhere I go now. Like that reality of like I don't fear gang stalking anymore. I don't care if a gang stalker tries to invade. I don't know what to tell them. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people, they think that the answer to cut people off and to keep to yourself, that's only supposed to be temporary. Otherwise, you won't be living any kind of real life. Right now, who I interact with is my children, some of these confused people that I have to deal with that came from my landlord that bought all this crap into my life. I'm going to talk about that later on tonight. That's why my mother always told me, she said, you need to buy a house. But then again, even with her telling me that, she should not have created that reality to where I would have such a hard time with landlords. But it's not her fault. But if I felt like my child renting was going to be harmful to them, I would set an intention to where, okay, they can rent temporarily, but then by this age they're going to buy a house. I'm not going to like just say, oh, if you keep doing that, you're going to da 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 da. But that's just me. Hey, Super Queen, hello. Yes, watch the replay. Yes. But I'm gonna tell you something. The reason why so many people don't shift is because the actual part of shifting, like the actual feeling when you first start working on shifting your reality, which is why so many people don't change their reality, is because that shit can feel uncomfortable. It can feel very uncomfortable. And like for me, I think when you're doing it yourself, or when you have someone doing it, it is important to work with somebody that knows about grounding. People really don't know how grounding is a like grounding for everybody. Grounding, it's not being buried or dying. Grounding is one of the most powerful and important spiritual and metaphysical processes that, and people just be like, oh, grounding, what's that? I don't want to poop pish posh, I don't want to be bothered with that. No, that's extremely important. And so many people are not taught to ground, you know what I'm saying? And that's like really important. You better than me, Christian, because I would not be able to. Actually, I would. The Freemasons are not that bad. I think it depends on just the person. You know what I'm saying? That's just like every Satanist is not bad and every Satanist is not good. It depends on the side of the coin. All of us would be on some good stuff if everybody would stay in their lane and stop trying to do harm to people. We would all be good. But since there's people out there that they just insist upon themselves, don't they? They just insist upon themselves. It'd be like, why are you doing that? Why are you making this so hard? This thing called life. Why? Why? And then, you know, um, some of the shamans that are in your life. Now, I will tell y'all that we are dealing with shamans that are enemies, right? And that's all I'm gonna say about that publicly. But some of the shamans in our lives have to be careful about what reality you. And then also you gotta mind your business. Some people are helping those other realities. Like if I see a friend of mine talking about something I'm subscribed to, I love him so much. He's wonderful, beautiful man, and like when I know that when he speaks, he's speaking to help people. Just know that when I speak about negative stuff, my intention is to help people that are living within that. That's my intention. It's not my intention to hurt nobody. Now, if a person just insists on coming at me, I still have olives in here. I don't know why I just had a taste for olives. Do I have some of them green olives with them? Here they are. Oh my God. I got a whole bottle of olives. Are these still good? Why they look like that? It says 11/14/2026. Why they look like that? Oh, I'll buy fresh olives. I need to clean out my refrigerator. I don't like the way that look. Um, the lights are flickering on the left side of you. Could be a spirit in there. Now, once you start working on things like that, that doesn't mean that you still don't have to deal with spirits. Spirits are everywhere. It sounds like a spirit Christian. So anyway, that's just what's up with that, man. But I am gonna do a live later on and talk about codependent behavior and people that still feel the need to have their little plots and schemes and scams. Like, oh my God, do you not realize that it doesn't have to be that way? You not. And we're gonna talk about landlords tonight, y'all. But y'all remember that about y'all inner child, man. If I sense a spirit, I usually will ask what it wants. But a lot of the times, I just sense if it's a bad spirit or a good spirit. If it's a good spirit, then I just kind of let it linger until it's done, and then you know, if it's a bad spirit, I either banish it. I do usually work on healing spirits. Like some of the spirits, I will heal them. Okay, because some spirits are looking for healing, and I hate to sound cliche again, like I'm uh, what's the name of that TV show? With her name is Jennifer, and she would run into that was like her. What is it called? True Calling. It's the truth. It's people out there like that, and yeah, spirits are pretty much given the okay to roam. They are. Okay. So I'm gonna go, y'all. I want to take a shower. I'm getting ready to get in the shower and stuff. So I'll see y'all later. It really, like, that's why I don't watch people that I don't like. I don't listen to them because they're either giving out inaccurate information. Like I think it's so dangerous to give out bad spiritual advice to people, but people have been doing it forever. You know what I mean? And they're going through great lengths to continue to spread bad information to people by trying to discredit shamans and witches like myself. And that's where the problem comes in because they lie to people. They do. They lie. I'm gonna take my shower and order my groceries and sit here and watch Poltergeist. I think I want to watch Poltergeist Part 3 until I get my reading schedule together and my class schedule. Hello, Angel. Afternoon to you too. Hello. I will catch y'all later, okay? And I can't just, oh, this is what Spirit wanted me to say. I can't just sit here and say, I wish all of your children, your inner child would heal. That's no, I can't do that. I can't just say to you, well, I wish healing for your inner child. No, it does not work that way. I can do work for you if you agree to it, right? And it would require work to be done. Like you can't just say, well, that's just like I have my wishes and dreams bottle, which I haven't touched it in a few days. I need to go and grab it. Um, well, I haven't needed to, so there's no need for me to, but um, or maybe it is. I don't know. But I can't just say, "Oh, I make a wish upon a star and the shit happen." No, it is not like it's not gonna work that way. I don't. It's so for and people that don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do. So it just it frustrates me because I'm dealing with I'm in social media, like that part right there, like people in social media, everybody wants to rule everybody. But yeah, I do feel like when you are the mother, as long as you are not abusive and you're not harming the people that you love, and you say, hey, listen, because for me, what I do is I just force people to be fucking happy. Fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like to turn the frown into a smile, a real smile. And sometimes it's got to be tears. I did a very deep reading for the Geminis. Geminis are lost. Geminis are like on my TikTok, like ain't no, but like the only person that thumbs it up was me. Because what Geminis do, and this is something that y'all better take heed to, what they do is they constantly create trauma. Their manifestation is connected to trauma, but they stay stuck in a loop. That's how they stay stuck in that loop. They create the trauma, they create the obstacles, and then they just so happen to make it through it, and they do cry tears of joy. They get a relief, but they yeah, y'all should, I'm gonna upload that one. To That's the only one I'm gonna upload. They do that. Geminis do that. Like, not all of them, but the ones that we're having issues with, that's what they're doing, because their manifestation is connected to trauma. And it's a lot of other zodiac signs doing that too. But when I did a reading for this, because I only did Aries, Taurus, Cancer, and Gemini so far. I've got 8 more to do. But Geminis do that. It's like, pulling teeth. It's so hard. And then as they're making it hard, they're blocking out their blessings. And so then they get somebody to rescue them. And then it's like, oh, relief, relief. Oh, relief. Thank you. That's not manifestation, and that's not the metaphysical process that I use when I have clients and students either. That, like this Gemini that I know, like that's how he manifests. I don't manifest like that. My clients don't have to rescue me. That's not what's happening. What's happening is that they are paying for a service, and they are getting what they pay for, and I am being compensated for my time. That's what that is. Like, mm-hmm. And so the energy vampirism, I'm glad you brought that up, Angel. With the energy vampirism, that is a realm, that is a reality, that is an alternative reality. If a person is an energy vamp, then energy vamps are constantly trying to pull people into their reality to suck off of their energy, which is very, very different from being a shaman or a witch that is assisting people. And trust me, they've tried to put that confusion out there too. That's a reality. If, like, for example, if a certain person is an energy vamp and they need energy, which I don't know why in the hell they just won't, why in their reality the sun doesn't fuel them. I don't understand it, but whatever. Okay. Um, they want to suck people in, and it's usually with fear. It's usually with trauma. It's usually with drama. And what they do is they feed off of those people. Now, sometimes that's not a bad thing. Some people that are energy vamps, they feed off of people's pain. So they'll take their pain. So, but every energy vamp is not like that. Like, they're like vampirism is not even what people think that it is. Like, typically, Like there are certain entities and people that will literally take a person's pain. I'm not one of them. Now, I do have a pact with one of those spirits, and what they do is whatever pain is thrown at me, they'll eat it because they don't want it to touch me. So that's why I don't live my life in pain, right? I don't have pains and aches and pains and back pain and sciatica and foot pain and my foot hurt and my ankle hurt and my head hurt. I don't have that because I have a pact with that spirit. And then plus, since I didn't, I'm not creating a dome. I put a dome up for real, for real. Like I just was like, oh my God, I've been doing so much healing, but people don't want to understand it because when you're doing that type of work, it almost makes it feel unreal. Like what the, but that's what it is, you know? And when you think about it, that's basically what witches are doing. Same difference. Only it's a little bit more complicated when you're thinking about shamanism because with shamanism, you're going to be able to see into other realities and you're going to be able to see the reality that people are from. So, yeah. Yeah, and that's that yeah, you do have to cleanse yourself. Yeah. And I would say not just cleanse yourself but replenish yourself. Mhm. So, but somebody with an intention to have people in this realm where they're just sucking off of them, like there's a lot of people that are dealing with that shit. Uh-huh. I just the few of the people in my circle had stuff like that, and the people that are feeding off of them are like, "What's going on? What's happening? What's happening here?" Right, exactly. Your father was very, very smart. Yep. I like your dad too, Super Queen B. I had picked up on his spirit. I liked him too because that's a good dad that teaches their kid that. Some fathers are just like go through the hard knocks and they just let their kid go through any damn thing and you can't do that. You can't do that's not teaching them, and people be thinking that's teaching them something. Well, that's your opinion. You got to go through something. You got to go through hell. You understand me? You got to go through hell. What they put you through is worse than hell. Hell is a very peaceful place. And I've seen hell. Hell has red flames, white flames, silver flame. It's all kind of gold flames, fucking silver, sparkly flames with sparkles and stuff, and red and blue flames. Like I've seen it and witnessed it, and it is very serene and peaceful. And those flames are not even hot; they're just very warming. So I've been there. What they do is not even hell. What they do is chaos and and people that manifest with chaos. No, no, no. Right, exactly. Yeah, Queen Super Queen said I like him better now. Yeah, yeah. It's like, they say that when they're confused, when they're alive, when they die, they learn. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, okay, that's what it was. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So I gotta go, y'all. I'm about to get in the shower, eat something, watch me some poltergeist. You know what I'm saying? I'll catch y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Okay? Get in the circle. Don't wait till the last minute either. We only have 8 days left. 8 days. That's it. Like, it snuck up on us. And did you notice how much they was trying to distract us from the summer solstice? Uh-huh. They was really trying to distract us from the summer. I bet you some of y'all that practice witchcraft probably like, hey, wait a minute. I didn't even realize the summer solstice was coming up. Yeah, that's what the You're welcome, Angel. Yeah, y'all, I'm gonna go. I will catch y'all at a later date. Okay. The shift is real. Angel, I just want to keep talking to you. Like every time I try to leave, you come back in. Yes, ma'am. The shift is real. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. But sadly, some people are not going to shift. They're going to stay where they're at. And those are the people that are stuck. And the shift is centered around the summer solstice. It's almost like, I don't want to say a last chance, but it's a very important chance. And mainly it is because Earth's magnetic field. Like some of y'all are like, I'm not lighting up those candles. They not gonna do nothing. I've been trying and trying, and the candles don't work, and it's evil. Hell, this is the time you need to be doing it. But if you live in a reality to where it's all evil, this shit ain't gonna work any damn way. It just don't make no sense. You're welcome, Super Queen B. Love you, sis. Mm-hmm. And I can feel them trying to pull me into their reality. I know how to ground myself, like, oh shit, here they go again. They be like, come to me, Jamila, come to me. Like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna come to you. Oh yeah, the Earth's magnetic field is buzzing. Ooh, and on that day of the 20th, because it's the 20th of this year. Oh my God, it's gonna be beautiful for us and mayhem for them. They're gonna be like, what's happening? These witches are evil. Like, and you still don't get it, do you? No, it's just all evil. Cause I don't. And yeah, there are evil witches out there. Yes, I will admit that. They are evil, some of them, but some of them are just defending themselves, literally. Like, come on now. You know? I have a blackhead I need to pop. I'm going to do that too. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one. Oh, by the way, my summer solstice is only 111, just FYI. However, you need to do Lanasa because we're boosting at Lanasa, we're boosting at the fall equinox, we're boosting at the winter solstice as well. And I am going to go ahead and release it to the website too. Okay. They just be on some BS, don't they? But we make a choice on whether or not we want to be in it. And you ain't just because you looking at them don't mean that you in it. You can observe. It's like, well, damn. But I be looking at them children that are suffering in those other realities. My spirits will always be there for those children. That's why our reality is just filled with angels. The spirits of these poor, defenseless babies that they are pretty much plundering and plowdering. Oh, this is weird. I literally just this morning saw a bunch of these dandelions. They must have how the hell that happened within a matter of hours? All my dandelions bloomed into, y'all know those things that you blow. Now that was now that don't, oh wow. Wow. And then here come a bee. You know, I can't never come out here and get my little gifts from nature. Thank you, nature. Because the bees is buzzing. The bees is like getting. The bees is like, Jamila, what I tell you about this, okay? The bees are all over my yard, y'all. They like, huh? What you say, Jamila? I would sting you, but if I do, I was gonna die. If I sting you, so I ain't gonna sting you. Would I make tea out of it? I could because I don't be putting no pesticides or nothing out there. But I got a whole bunch of them things. I'm getting my grass cut. I'm gonna get the grass cut. It'll be the last grass cutting that I do here. But it'll be cut Friday. So, uh-huh. But the bees is all out there just like having a fit. All threatening and stuff. All right, y'all. I'll let y'all go. Though y'all have a good one. Blessings, okay? I'm ignoring like the negative people. If anything got somebody negative, if anybody got something negative to say to me today, I'm just gonna put my black mirror up and call it a day. I just don't have time. So, social media, blah blah blah. I'll see y'all later. Blessings.